zone. However, we can come to a conclusion that these requests for information are for a catastrophic event that involves flooding. Now, when that seismic zone goes, you've all seen the maps of what's going to be underwater. Keep that in mind. If you haven't, you need to go back and look through some of my videos there. And real quick, before I get to showing you guys the rest of this information, and it's very vital that you look at this, I want to address a few things. Number one, I have a YouTube user out there named YT Critical. You guys go check out his channel there and look at the video he's got in regards to me. I'd like for you guys to give your heartfelt response to this guy about his video and say hello for me. Number two, people are out there running around saying I'm out here trying to sell my information. That's not true. All of this information here is for you to look at no charge. Now, I do add a spot at the bottom of my video details to let people know that if they're interested in donating $25 to my cause, that they'll receive a 3-disc set of DVDs. And I've had a lot of orders put in, and they've all been sent out, and I'm sure each and every person who has gotten those as of today are very happy with them. And for those that haven't got them today, that's because, well, they're out of country. So, no, I'm not selling my information. All my information is for free. I'm here to help and to try to spread this information out. If something this catastrophic was coming your way, wouldn't you want to know about it? So let's get started. The next request for information sent out by the Department of Homeland Security. All of this gets interesting. You guys will have to mind any background noise. My son is on the rampage tonight, so you might hear him. You might hear him in the background. I apologize for that, but I love him to death. That's my boy. Let's get started. Request for information, hydration supplies for disaster relief. This is very important, okay? And look at the date, January 20th, 2011. Okay, here's solicitation number. Now, let's read the synopsis on this. The Federal Emergency Management Agency procures and stores hydrated beverages to support readiness capability for immediate distribution to disaster survivors routinely. The purpose of this request for information is to identify sources of supply for hydration and support of disaster relief efforts based on a catastrophic disaster within the New Madrid fault system for a survivor population of 7 million to be utilized for the sustainment of life during a 10-day period of operations. FEMA is considering the following specifications: 210 million liters a day. Okay? Now, I'm not going to sit here and read through this entire thing. And I do want to correct myself on my prior videos. I've been telling people that the government has purchased these, okay? I was wrong to say that, okay? What I should say is they are considering the purchase, okay? But I will tell you this. Our country doesn't window shop. They're looking to spend a lot of money on a large quantity of gear and supplies to maintain quite a few people through a catastrophic event. Now, the question you have to ask yourself here is why? Why are they looking into all of this? And it's not just coincidence with this national level exercise coming up, okay? I want you to think about NLE before 9/11 and also before Haiti. And I want you to look at the response they had to Katrina, okay? Now, getting back to this, think about it. Why are they putting these requests for information out? Look at the dates. They all happen after the birds and animals started dying, okay? Also, all right, well, like I said, they know something is coming around the corner, okay? They know something is coming around the corner, and you know, with all the seismic activity that's going on and stuff, they're putting these requests out for a reason. And if this doesn't make the normal average person of average intellect think, then you really are brainwashed. Let's move to the next request for information. All right. Here's the solicitation number. This is for, and get this, FEMA National Flood Insurance Program. All right. Now, the original synopsis was done on the 17th of 2010, but that was changed after the beginning of the year on January 7th, 2011, and it was changed once again just yesterday, I believe. Let's have a look here. Nope, 2 days ago it was changed. So let's read this one to you. The government intends to hold a pre-solicitation conference / industry day to solicit industry feedback and participation regarding the provision of managed services or COTS solutions for its national flood insurance program. The managed services should focus on providing the IT systems and related maintenance necessary to support the program needs for claims management, property management, location validation, and all related financial reporting. The COTS providers should focus on the provision of IT systems and related maintenance that provide the same. Once again, and this meeting starts, let's see here, starts tomorrow. All right? Once again, if this was all practice for May, NLE, my question is, why are they looking for somebody that can handle such a catastrophic event in regards to insurance reasons? All right? Practice doesn't raise that kind of alarm. Practice doesn't call for the government looking for this type of program. Okay? All right? I want you guys to think about all of this. This is important. I'm not going to read all of this one. Once again, I'll post links and more details for you guys to check it out. So let's move on to the next one. All right. This one is in regards to Rockwell Collins Infinity Mill modems. Now, think about this. If a disaster goes down, the number one priority is going to be communications, okay? That's it, communications. Now, I want you to look at this carefully and then think back on what I just told you, communications. The original synopsis for this was written on January the 21st, 2011. All right? Let's have a look at it. I'm going to go ahead and read it. This is a notice of intent to award a sole source purchase order for Infinity Mill modems, which is, I'm sure, military, modems from Rockwell Collins under the authority of FAR 13.106/1, subsection B, part 1. FEMA currently owns 4 of the Rockwell Collins Communicase Technology CCT devices. The CCT network processor Infinity Mill modems with a FIPS of 140 transec options are being purchased for the use in the CCT. The modems allow for interoperable connectivity to allow maximum communication availability through the CCT. Rockwell Collins is the only source available that makes the Infinity modems to specifications required by, damn it, I lost myself here reading too fast, required by the Rockwell Collins made CCT. The above named vendor is the only source who can provide the type of modems listed above, since these are customized modems manufactured to the specifications required by the Rockwell Collins CCT. This notice of intent is not a request for quotation for competitive quotes. Interested organizations may submit their capabilities and qualifications to provide the required modems via email to blah, 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 there's your name, no later than such and such on such and such date, email, whatever. Capabilities, qualifications will be evaluated solely on the purpose of determining whether or not to conduct this procurement on a competitive basis. A determination not to compete this proposed procurement based on responses to this notice is solely within the discretion of the government. This is not a small business set-aside requirement. Now, to me, that indicates that they're looking for communications equipment, okay? And this is the equipment they're talking about. Right here. And I will be sure to leave I will be sure to leave links and more information for all of you guys. But look at this. This is a mobile communication setup. Okay, look at it. Look what it's called. SWE-dish CCT-90 suitcase. It's mobile. You guys think about it. Now let's go to the next request for information. Oh, it gets more interesting as we go. Transitional shelter units. Original synopsis, January 10th, 2011. Sources sought. Let me read this to you. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, aka FEMA, is interested in expanding its temporary sheltering operational capability to improve assistance to disaster survivors during major and catastrophic events. The purpose of this request for information is to seek industry input regarding innovative, temporarily placed congregate and non-congregate shelter units. Units could provide separate sleeping quarters for individual households with common services or contain multiple households in a single facility. We are considering all types of materials and designs, but primarily those that can be connected to a heating and cooling system and can resist inclement weather conditions. Structures must be able to be assembled quickly by unskilled labor. So in other words, they're looking for a shelter that can be put together by unskilled labor, because if there's such a traumatic event to take place like a catastrophic earthquake at the New Madrid seismic zone, that they'll have to depend on unskilled labor. It's going to be so chaotic that they're not going to be able to sit down and take time out to put out want ads for help. Okay? Let's move on to the next request for information, and this one is the most interesting. Aside from the underwater body bags, that's a little bit creepy. If you hadn't seen that one, go back to my last video. Okay. Various fuels in support of disaster relief. Okay, synopsis, added January the 7th, 2011. Defense Logistics Agency, Energy, intends to issue a solicitation in support of Department of Homeland Security, Federal Emergency Management Agency, requirements for delivery of diesel fuel and gasoline on a regional statewide basis to support disaster mobilization, emergency response, and recovery efforts. Vendor support is needed to provide mobile refueling in the event of a disaster to and within a 300-mile radius of mobilization areas, staging areas, and other points of distribution within the states of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, and Louisiana. Now, what do all them states have in common? They are right there next to the New Madrid fault line, the seismic zone. And if the North American continent splits in half, these are going to be the states that are going to be in need of fuel, and well, they're just pretty much going to be the fuel hub for the smaller half of the United States. Anyways, during a disaster, the estimated daily quantity required for each state is 135,000 U.S. gallons for diesel fuel and 24,000 U.S. gallons for gasoline. The vendor will be required to maintain readiness capability and deliver within 24 hours' notice. This acquisition is unrestricted and will be awarded based upon best value evaluation factors. These factors include, but are not limited to, readiness plan, past performance and experience, and socioeconomic support. Contracts will be awarded for each defined geographic area of coverage. The government anticipates award to multiple vendors. In other words, they anticipate awarding contracts to all of these different areas. The anticipated contract type is a one-year fixed price requirements type contract with economic price adjustment. The contract provisions will include 2 potential option years. Orders will be issued as necessary with a required delivery date. It is anticipated that proposals will be due February 6, 2011. So they're trying to get all these guys to submit proposals before April and May. Think about that. Am I crazy for even trying to connect the dots here? You decide. You tell me. Okay, vendors are required to complete, sign, and return the document entitled Offer Submission Package to the bid custodian as directed in the RFP. All responsible sources may submit a proposal which shall be considered. So that's pretty heavy duty right there. Okay, various locations within the following states: North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, and Louisiana. You guys think about that. Now here's something else I want to take you to. Just want you to look. We're going to go back to this flood insurance thing. Check this out. As soon as it pulls up, my software slows down with screen capture. Sorry about that. My computer does anyhow. It's a flyer put out by FEMA. What are they asking for? Here it is. This is the flyer that advertises for that conference. And what does this conference entail? It's for Flood Insurance Management Services for COTS Solutions under FEMA's National Flood Insurance Program. You guys need to think about everything I've just showed you. Go back and look at all the parts of this video series, 1 through, I think this is going to be 6. There's a lot of things happening right now, a lot of things that are too big to be pretend. This isn't pretend anymore, folks. All right? They're looking for solutions for something very big to happen, and they're trying to get it all in before March. What does that tell you? And having said all this, I hope that each and every one of you will make preparations in order to survive this type of predicament. Okay? There's a lot of people that are unaware of what's going to be underwater and what's not. You know, I know folks are out there saying, oh my God, it's not all going to be underwater at once. No, they're right. It's not. But the bottom line is, all right, if the Gulf of Mexico, where the BP oil drill done its drilling, if that's the cave-in, and when I say cave-in, there's a big-ass place underneath the ground, underneath the crust there with oil in it, okay, reservoir. If all of that caves in, because it's cracked right now, like I said, there's ROVs roaming around and 4 deep drilling rigs out there, as per what Dr. Deagle has mentioned in some of his interviews on radio. They're out there roaming around looking at all the cracks in the seafloor. And if that gives way, that's going to cause a tsunami that's going to be quite large, I'm sure. And people say, well, water can't rise like that, just like that. It just can't happen. Well, it can happen. And here's why. Because there's this thing called water displacement. Okay? So, if all the water starts to rising, if there's a big-ass earthquake and this happens, I'm sure that people are going to have a few hours who are further inland to get ready to do what they got to do and go where they got to go. So, guys, this isn't a situation where you need to just get the heck out of Dodge. But this is a situation you need to keep a very close eye on. In all of my videos, in the more detail section, I provide instrumental links, things that are going to help you guys to sort all of this out, to connect your own dots. And all this information is courtesy of a YouTube user. I can't remember his name, and I've asked permission to use it, so when I get that, I'll post it. But it's people like you guys who are hearing me and going out and doing your own research who are coming back to me with these links. Okay? So I'm just a vessel. Remember that. I am just a vessel. You guys are doing the legwork here, okay? You guys are doing the legwork, and you know, I'm very grateful for it, and I think you guys should be very grateful for it too. This is very important information. We need to get it out there. And before I let you guys go, I have a beef with Alex Jones, and I'm sure he's quite pissed off because, well, a couple of my videos have beaten the Info Warrior and the Alex Jones channel straight off the map today as far as stats go. So, I know this is going to get around to him. So my very important question to Alex Jones is, and I'm not going to dog the guy. I'm not going to sit here and talk smack about him. I just have a question for him. So, here it is. Alex, why are you not reporting on this? Why is this not a concern? For all the listeners out there who are listening to you, don't you think that these folks need to know about these earth changes, about the animals dying, about the drills that are coming up with FEMA? You know, don't you think this is a very important issue? Come on. Also, there's other big channels out there who refuse to post this information. I really don't care, you know. I mean, as far as that being a personal choice, but the bottom line is this is a situation that will affect everybody on a global scale, okay? Worldwide. It affects each and every one of us. So you got to think about the motive of why Alex Jones is not mentioning this to all of the people that listen to his show. You have to think about what's that motive. There is a motive. It's been happening now for damn near 1 month, and he has not mentioned it. I know a lot of his listeners keep bringing it up to him and pointing it out, but he hasn't mentioned it. Think about it, guys. You guys are getting distracted, okay? All right? Because right now, the way I see it is all he does is fearmonger and talk about things that are past, that a long time ago. FEMA camps, FEMA coffins, United Nations are coming in to take over, da-da-da-da. Well, yeah, that is true. That is partial truth. But he's not focusing on what's happening right now, and there's a reason for it. And it's a big distraction, okay? For everybody out there that listens to Alex Jones, tell him I sent you, and ask him why he's not reporting on this, please. I'm going to keep you guys informed the best that I can. I am going through a lot, including electronic harassment. I just know I am. I don't know how much time we are all allotted to sort these things out. I pray that it's a lot of time, and I pray that each and every one of you will be safe, all right? So with having said all that, man, I hope not to have to bring any more of this stuff to you, but if it comes, you'll get it from me. Thank you very much.